I don't have a seamless intro, so we're getting straight to business. In case you're not aware, tarot cards are playing cards that are meant to, one sec, spark conversations, inspire. This is a bunch of bullshit. Tarot cards are storytelling cards that are usually used to give divinations and predict someone's future, or even reveal hidden aspects of their character. Each card is supposed to represent a host of different things, housing specific interpretations based on the situation. And the meaning changes based on whether the card is facing upright or reversed. There are 78 tarot cards, but there are 22 that are important to us and relevant to this video. These are known as the main cards. These cards are what the Arcana are based on in the Persona series, the reason you clicked on the video. And as you know, each card is supposed to mean something and is directly related to the character that's associated with. For example, the description of the Fool when it's upright is innocence, new beginnings, and a free spirit. And when reversed, it represents recklessness, being taken advantage of, and inconsideration. These are the exact traits that would describe the mostly unfortunate protagonist of the Persona series. Now, the description doesn't just represent the traits of the person, but also the nature of their circumstances. With this in mind, it makes sense why each storyline is the way it is, and why there's a lot of overlap between characters in different games. For example, the Chariot card represents control, direction, and willpower, while the flip version represents exactly the opposite. This is what we see in the storylines and characters that hold the Chariot Arcana, with Ryuji and Miyamoto being pretty similar. Ryuji in Persona 5 is the epitome of the reversed Arcana. He has a lack of direction because his future was robbed from him by a pedophile. Like, this shit makes me so angry every time I think about it. Ryuji was a really good track player with a future and a dream, but all his hard work and passion was rendered for naught because he decided he couldn't take being harassed by scum, and then was blamed for standing up for himself. Because of this, he's aggressive and loses control easily since he's lost in life. No one was on his side. I can't blame him. Ryuji didn't deserve that. In Persona 3, Miyamoto loses control of his life because of a surprise injury, impacting the one thing that gave his life direction. Also the track team. The Hermit Arcana represents contemplation, search for inner truth and inner guidance, with the reverse representing loneliness, isolation, and losing your way. On the tame side, representing a lonely woman online who just wants someone to vent to the extreme side of representing a lost soul drowned by negative thoughts due to the death of her parent. Then there's the Moon Arcana. The Moon Arcana upright represents unconscious, illusions, and intuition, and when reversed represents confusion, fear, and misinterpretation. These are all feelings that every human can relate to. Like, we've all misinterpreted a situation. I mean, not all of us, but you're watching a Persona video, so it's very likely. This is probably the most relatable Arcana and the easiest to set up a deep and meaningful storyline with. But it just so happens to have my 3 least favorite characters in the series. Get ready, because I'm about to do some extreme hating. Starting with the one I have the least passionate feelings for. Fuck this girl. From the very moment I heard her open her big bitchy mouth, I hated her. They try to play her out as this misunderstood girl who's really a sweetheart. She's just so afraid of rejection that she acts out, and I do not care. Fear of rejection does not excuse you to treat others like shit. And I know it's a game, but it still pisses me off. She's not the worst character in the game, but god damn is she annoying. On top of being a bitch, she's a fake and a fraud, and I don't feel better about her character at all by the end. She begins the Arcana bitchy, entitled, and fake, and ends the Arcana bitchy and fake. At least she learned that the world doesn't revolve around her. Just an all-around annoying character. Alright, next, I'm gonna go a little bit more in depth into the storyline for Persona 5 because there's a lot more nuance to Mishima's character that's tied to the plot. If you're not familiar with Persona 5, it's crazy that you're even watching this video, but you're about to get spoiled. But if you're worried about getting spoiled, why are you watching this video? I mean, I never really understood why people get mad about spoilers but click on the video of the topic they're trying not to get spoiled on. Anyway, Persona 5 has an insane introduction to its world with the case of Kamoshida. Kamoshida is an ex-Olympian who works at Shujin Academy. He's praised for being the only 6-foot Japanese man in the school, and for some reason, that gives him a pass to verbally harass, physically assault, and sexually abuse the students. And everyone knew about it. Well, not everyone, but everyone who mattered. Anyone who could have done something about it. No matter how many times I think about it, it's still insane to me. How are they letting him get away with it? And this is also the reason why I started hating Mishima. Mishima was intimately aware of the situation going on with Kamoshida and his misdeeds, and was even involved, and went along with his whims anyway. But to give Mishima credit, Mishima is a child. And since I was also a high schooler not too long ago, I can relate to the feeling of being hesitant to speak up to authority, especially when that authority figure is 2 heads taller than you. But at the end of the day, if I know a teacher is assaulting students, I'm reporting them to the police, and that's that. But also, like I said, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because I know what it's like to be a scared kid, and it's understandable. But I will not forgive him for being cringe. You know, I almost feel bad for hating him because low-key, he's just trying to grow and move past after living through a traumatic experience. But at the same time, it's... he's not that guy. I think what pisses me off so much about him is he's genuinely a useful guy sometimes who has the ability to really benefit society, but he does it for all the wrong reasons. He makes the website to aid the Phantom Thieves and it's really useful, really helpful, but he's really just doing it to validate himself, and he's super annoying about the fact that he makes the website and oversells his contribution. Like a guy who borrowed you $5 and doesn't allow you to pay him back but constantly brings it up. He uses his clout to try and impress women that aren't worth the time. He uses his status as the creator of the Phantom Thieves website to try and ruin people's lives. Oh my gosh. He's learning from Kamoshida. Oh my god, I just realized that. In the same way that people learn the worst traits from their parents, Mishima actually internalized some of the worst traits from Kamoshida. It's actually insane. Hold up, I just realized that. You know what? Maybe I'll give him more slack, honestly. Wait. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. He's still cringe though. I would like to preface by saying I'm not fat phobic. I rock with fat people. I used to be fat. I like food as much as the next guy. Probably more than the next guy. I got fat friends, fat family. I'm American. Of course I do. But I have nothing to say about this fat, disgusting slob. I hate slobs, fat or skinny. Nozomi Suemitsu is the single most detestable character I've encountered in a Persona game. That isn't a villain. He's introduced to you as the Gourmet King. And at first I thought it was a nice and cool, quirky thing. The food guy is fat because he likes food, makes sense. But he's not really a food guy. He doesn't have a refined palate. He's just a greedy slob. Every time you hang out with this guy, he's scarfing his face with whatever he can get his hands on. And he's always shitting himself. I'm not kidding. I wish I was. Bro runs to the bathroom like his life depends on it in the middle of eating and comes back and continues to eat. It's insane. That doesn't even cover the fact that he's just a terrible person. His entire storyline is that this guy comes over to him and demands his money back from the pig. Suemitsu then makes the guy out to be crazy and cries out for help without even acknowledging the request that was made. I thought some crazy mafia stuff was going on, but it turns out that Suemitsu is in this crazy cult, and to meet a quota, he scammed this poor guy's son out of money, and he was just trying to get it back. Suemitsu villainizes him and is on fuckery until the guy just gives up and leaves him alone. Then at the end of his social link, he goes on this big tangent about how he feels insecure and isn't as good as his brother, and he hates his life, which is honestly super unprompted. And then it just ends. So the moral of the story is you can scam people out of their money, taking advantage of people's goodwill, and be an annoying, insufferable nuisance, enough so that the people you wrong will let you go because they want nothing to do with you. I don't know what they were cooking up with this story. Like, I have nothing nice to say about this guy. I finished the social link because I wanted to be sure I was founded in my hate before I made this video. He has no redeeming qualities at all. And if you like this character, please comment. I need to know why. The use of tarot cards in Persona is actually really interesting and a cool design choice. It adds a philosophical aspect to the games that I really enjoy. It's a nice touch, and it's interesting to see how each story fits their Arcana. Every Arcana has good characters, some might be worse depending on the game, but between Persona 3, 4, and 5, every Arcana has a good storyline except the Moon Arcana, which is crazy because this Arcana in particular has so much potential to be really cool and interesting. But they attach the most annoying and insufferable characters to it. Easily the worst Arcana in the series, especially Suemitsu. That guy is something special in the worst way possible. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Maybe I'll revisit this topic and go for the best Arcana. That one require a lot more consideration, and honestly, maybe even a replay of Persona 4. Anyway, remember to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed and comment your thoughts. I know I did a lot of hating, but I hope the people watching this are having a genuinely amazing day/night. Take it easy, and as usual, have a good one.